The origins of Hagith are as intriguing as they are steeped in mystique. Sourced from the annals of Renaissance magic and its coveted manuscripts, the Arbatel de Magia Veterum, often simply known as the Arbatel, is where we first encounter the name Hagith. This work, this tomb, this book, is more than just a grimoire. During its time, it was a beacon of theurgy, a practice that aimed to invoke the divine rather than command the spirits for more personal gain. Within the pages of the Arbatel, the wisdom of antiquity convenes with the intellectual spirit of the Renaissance. It marks a period in history that was captivated by a reawakening interest in the esoteric and occult knowledge of classical civilizations, combined with a hunger for spiritual enlightenment. This wasn't mere sorcery or witchcraft, as some might have feared. It was a pursuit of higher knowledge and divine communion. Hagith is introduced as one of the 7 Olympian Spirits, an assembly of celestial entities that the Arbatel holds in high regard. These spirits, including Hagith, were not considered demonic, but rather angelic, fostering amity between the cosmos and the human soul. They are referred to as Olympic not because of any Greek affiliation, but as an allusion to their lofty places in the spiritual firmament, akin to the height of Olympus itself. The Renaissance period, a symbiosis of science, art, religion, and philosophy, provided a ripe landscape for the teachings of the Arbatel. It offered a harmonious blend of arcane traditions and newfound scholarly approaches. In this intellectual and cultural climate, the Arbatel, along with its enigmatic spirit Hagith, rose to prominence among scholars, magicians, and alchemists who sought understanding and mastery of the natural and divine worlds through respectful and systemic exploration. The Arbatel's influence stretched far beyond the confines of individual practice. It also permeated into other works of the period, guiding and shaping the thoughts and practices of those engaged in the spiritual and alchemical arts, which means Hagith's origins hint at a time when man's connection to the divine was not only seen as palpable, but as a structured discipline that could lead one towards spiritual ascendance and illumination. The concept of influence is intriguing, especially when we consider entities of a spiritual nature like Hagith. As we look in on Hagith's realm of power, it is entwined with none other than Venus, the luminescent planet that has captivated humans since time immemorial. Venus, as many will recognize, is not just a celestial body visible to the naked eye. It's a symbol, a beacon of love and beauty in the arts, themes that are eternally bound to the human condition. And Hagith, as a spirit governor of this realm, is said to exert considerable sway over these aspects. It's a dominion. It touches upon the core of human emotion and creativity, influencing everything from passionate love affairs to the sublime beauty found within a canvas brimming with color. Through history, artists, lovers, and seekers of beauty have looked to the heavens for inspiration. Hagith's influence could be perceived as a guiding force, an unseen hand shaping inclinations and affinities in the earthly realm. It's an influence that can be felt in the earliest love poems etched onto papyrus, in the intricate brushstrokes of the Renaissance artists who sought to capture the essence of beauty itself, and in the melodies that have stirred hearts across generations. To speak of Hagith's sphere of influence, it is to talk about an underlying current that pulls at the strings of attraction. It adds luster to the mundane and imbues the human experience with a touch of the divine. It's an echo of ancient Greek beliefs where gods and goddesses exerted their wills on the lives of mortals. In the case of Hagith, this Olympic spirit infuses life with the qualities of Venus, making our moral existence richer, fuller, and more vibrant. Such influence transcends the tangible. It is not merely seen but felt, not just observed but experienced. For those who have explored the enigmatic wisdom of the Arbatel, calling upon Hagith was a means to embody and harness these very qualities in a world where the line between the spiritual and the physical is as delicate as a painter's final stroke. Throughout the ages, the concept of beauty has been inexorably linked to the divine. In our exploration of Hagith, this Olympic spirit's physical manifestation stands as a paragon of celestial grace. Hagith, often depicted as a being of striking allure, is the quintessence of the aesthetic ideals that has been synonymous with beauty across various cultures and epochs. The depiction of Hagith reflects this connection, symbolizing harmony in the very essence of graceful form. Artists and philosophers alike have sought to capture and understand the qualities that make something or someone beautiful. Hagith's appearance gives form to this quest. In magical lore, the representation of a spirit such as Hagith is not merely for adornment. These depictions carry with them a deep symbology. To behold Hagith in illustrated form or in the mind's eye during rituals is to perceive the harmony of Venus rendered tangible. It is to glimpse a beauty so profound that it transcends the physical, touching upon the ethereal and the eternal. This pursuit of ideal beauty that Hagith embodies is no trivial matter. It points to a higher aspiration within human nature, to seek out and create beauty that approaches the divine. Just as Venus captivates the dedicated astronomer and the romantic stargazer alike, Hagith's storied vision captivates those who seek the spiritual elevation that beauty in its highest form promises. To contemplate Hagith's appearance is to engage with a wider dialogue, one that spans millennia. It is a dialogue about the elements that give rise to beauty, the way beauty interacts with our senses and how it elevates our consciousness. Through Hagith, we see a mirror reflecting Venus's influence on all artistic expressions, whether they be in the form of visual masterpieces, stirring melodies, or the delicate prose of poetry. The power of Hagith and the spirit's place in the historical narrative is further underscored by this visual connection to Venus. In invoking this image, practitioners of the magic of yore were not only seeking assistance with corporeal concerns, but were also striving to align themselves with universal harmony. In essence, the evocation of Hagith was an act of reaching for balanced beauty and the sublime in their lives. It is a consistent reminder of the beauty that has inspired mankind throughout history, driving our creativity and our passion, shaping the very fabric of our cultural and spiritual identity. The idea of converting base substances into noble ones has long captivated the human imagination, symbolizing transformation and the attainment of higher states of existence. In the mystical text where Hagith appears, this Olympic spirit is renowned for the alchemical ability to transform copper into gold and crystals into precious stones. This connection with alchemy speaks to a multitude of allegories in Renaissance thought and beyond, encapsulating a time where the lines between magic, science, and spirituality were often indistinguishable. Alchemy, however, wasn't simply about this material quest. Just to give you an idea, alchemists toiled in search of the philosopher's stone, which is basically an elusive idea. It allowed the magical transformation of lead into gold. This elusive substance reputed to enable such transmutations. But with alchemy, it wasn't simply about a material quest. It also reflected an inner journey of spiritual purification and enlightenment. Hagith's power over transformation embodies this dual pursuit, mirroring the actions of the alchemists who sought not only to change the physical world, but also to refine their souls. And this is where we look at Venus, Hagith's celestial counterpart. It's a planet that historically is associated with riches and beauty. Venus presides over affairs of the heart and artistic creation, but it is also linked to the precious metals and gems that draw our sight with their lustrous allure. So when Hagith is depicted as having the power to transmute the ordinary into the extraordinary, it resonates with Venus's role in guiding those in pursuit of beauty and value. Turning copper into gold, a metal of the earth into one of immense wealth and status, or morphing crystalline objects into gems that catch the light in 1,000 ways, can envisage an Olympic spirit that has domain not over just physical attributes, but the concept of value itself. Through this, Hagith becomes an emblem of potential, of seeking out the latent beauty within the commonplace and revealing the splendor that lies hidden there. This transformative power is not only a nod to Hagith's dominion, but also to the broader human drive to create and to elevate, to discover within the mundane its inherent worth. This quest, much like the alchemist's experiments, is an enduring testament to our endless search for meaning and for the underlying connections that unite the material with the spiritual. In the realm of spirits and celestial influences, the character of Hagith is an embodiment of feminine energy that presents a fascinating aspect of this enigmatic entity. As we explore Hagith's role within the cosmos, we need to consider the elements of creation, attraction, and harmony, which are often associated with feminine principles across various cultures and spiritual doctrines. Hagith, being under the sphere of Venus, naturally aligns with the creative forces of the universe. This spirit is celebrated for inspiring the birth of artistic expressions, and stirring creativity in the hearts and minds of humans. Just as Venus has been venerated as the goddess of art and beauty in Roman mythology, Hagith is said to instill a similar essence in those who seek its presence. The energy of attraction that Hagith brings forth transcends physical allure alone. It encompasses the magnetic charm that draws individuals together, fostering relationships and bonds, be it in the realm of platonic friendships, familial connections, or romantic pursuits. This capacity to attract is deeply intertwined with the idea of love, a force that Hagith holds dominion over. The harmony that Hagith promotes is another aspect that highlights the spirit's feminine aspect. Harmony is the grand tapestry of existence, and it speaks to the balance and unity within the natural world and human interactions. Here, Hagith's energy is perceived as a calming and uniting force, guiding disparate elements to work cohesively, much like a conductor leading an orchestra to produce a symphony that is greater than the sum of its parts. Linking back to the historical perspectives, the qualities attributed to Hagith reflect the Renaissance humanists' quest for an equilibrium between the earthly and the divine. By acknowledging Hagith's influence in their practices, they sought to transcend the mundane and achieve a harmonious and more enlightened state of being. Thus, Hagith, as an embodiment of feminine energy, plays a vital role in the ongoing dialogue between humanity and the celestial realms. It is through this energy that we are reminded of the subtle yet powerful forces that encourage creation, attract us towards beauty and love, and lead us toward harmony in our lives. With this understanding, we are better poised to appreciate the profound impact such a spirit has had on the collective human experience, not just in the pages of historical grimoires, but in the very fabric of social and spiritual consciousness. Summoning Hagith is not just an arcane practice, but a precise ritualistic art that has roots deep in the annals of ceremonial magic. To initiate contact with this Olympic spirit, practitioners have historically employed meticulous methods using tools like sigils or seals that are believed to act as conduits for Hagith's presence. A sigil, in magical terms, is a unique symbol that represents a specific entity or concept. When it comes to Hagith, these sigils are intricate, designed with a purpose to resonate with the spirit's unique vibrational energy. The seals, sometimes embedded within rings or other talismans, were crafted with equal care, often from materials auspicious to Venus, such as copper, which Hagith could purportedly transmute into gold. The act of summoning itself involves more than simply displaying an emblem. Rituals dedicated to Hagith typically take place on a Friday, the day ruled by Venus, to align with the spirit's strongest influence. Each step of the ceremonial process is orchestrated to honor Hagith's connection to love, beauty, and the arts. The use of chants, offerings, and the precise arrangement of sacred space all contribute to the creation of an atmosphere conducive to the spirit's arrival. So, why are we engaging in such elaborate rites? Well, in Renaissance times, practitioners believed that summoning spirits like Hagith allowed them to harness celestial powers. By inviting Hagith into their ritual space, magicians sought to absorb the essence of Venusian qualities, enhancing their ability to create and attract beauty, perfecting their craft in the arts, and even finding favor in matters of love and passion. The practice of invoking Hagith was not a frivolous endeavor. It required deep knowledge, immense dedication, and a sober understanding of the forces at play. Such rites exemplify the complexity of ceremonial magic, where every symbol, every action, and every uttered word holds significance. The rituals practiced to entice Hagith into the physical plane offer a fascinating glimpse into the history of magic, shedding light on how people of the past sought to interlace the human existence with the divine. Through these acts, magicians aim to align themselves with the natural order of the cosmos, using Hagith's power as a gateway to personal transformation and spiritual enlightenment. With Hagith, Friday is a day of particular significance. This is the junction where Hagith's influence reaches its zenith. It's not by chance that Friday is anointed with this honor. It is, after all, a day with deep-rooted ties to the planet Venus across various traditions. Venus, the resplendent jewel of our sky and the second planet from the sun, has been a beacon of intrigue and veneration since time immemorial. Civilizations have aligned their calendars and rituals with the luminary's pattern, and Friday is the day that most directly resonates with Venus's themes of love, beauty, and pleasure. It is the day that marks the end of the work week for many, transitioning into a period of relaxation and enjoyment, a parallel to the goddess Venus's invitation to delight in the sensory experiences of life. The name Friday itself is etymologically rooted in the homage to Venus. In Romance languages like Italian, the connection is strikingly clear. Venerdì directly calls to Venus. In English, it's a nod to the Norse god Frigga or Freya, deities often associated with love and fertility, reflecting the syncretism that commonly occurs as cultures merge and morph. In the tapestry of Greek and Roman mythology, Venus was known as Aphrodite and Venus, respectively, hailed as the goddess of love, beauty, and fertility. Each culture designated a specific day in their honor. Veneris dies by the Romans and Hemera Aphrodites by the Greeks. In this context, Hagith's rulership on Fridays becomes an echo of the overarching power of Venus, where the spirit's forte in matters relating to emotional connections, aesthetic pursuits, and the cultivation of artistic works are granted an auspicious boost. To the practitioners of the mystical arts during the Renaissance, and perhaps even to the onlooker with an interest in the celestial order, this alignment delivers a sense of inevitability, a cosmic appointment that underscores the connective tissue between human experience and the heavens. So as the week turns to Friday, those attuned to the frequency of Hagith would find their endeavors in love or the pursuit of beauty to be especially potent. It is a day when the world appears attired in the comforting glow of Venus, a time for fostering relationships, reveling in the arts, and seeking the harmony that Hagith and Venus represent. So as one anticipates the arrival of Friday, it's worth noting the invisible threads that weave our days into the larger celestial narrative, a narrative where Hagith plays a vital and vivifying role.